Life now. Okay. Good morning, everyone, wherever you are. Today we are live on Pasito Radio with Dr. Tukumbo, aka Dr. TK and Dr. Araba Elsekwesi. We are going to talk about maternal and infant nutrition. Please, if you are on, this is a life saving. Don't wait till you hear somebody is dead. Your sharing of this video will educate a mother so that this can prevent the death of a loved one. Wherever you are, today we are live on Pasito Radio with Dr. Can you? It's here. It's repeating itself.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was attempting to share.
All right.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So it's that one. It's okay. Okay, so if you come on, please share live on Pasito Radio. But you were able to share.
No, I wasn't. So I'll
Yeah,
just wait for Sister. I'll wait for Dr. Araba's share and then I'll share.
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Araba, can you see it live on?
Yes, I can see it now. I can see it. I'll share it now myself, and then I'll send it to. It's not from my end. This is. Is that you?
Yes, making the attempt.
Just turn the volume down. That's.
So it's not. It's from your end.
Yeah.
Trying to share again. Okay. So okay. Because for some reason I cannot see it on our page at all.
Oh, I've seen it and I've shared it, so it's on my page now.
Yes, I'm sharing now.
Yeah. It's there, Agnes. I can see it. I can share it with your personal.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm sharing now.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk about maternal and infant nutrition, which Dr. Araba here, we have a privilege for her to speak the fancy. Fancy fun waka there, but don't me wa baita. Said I want to kaka sana brofun kukuromem. I want to work na brofun waka, but don't me wa baita. Okay. All that Dr. TK, I'm saying, I said the dialect where Dr. Araba comes from, they can never speak without not one English to come in. If they are speaking the local one English, they can ask at least a word will come. So we have a privilege for her to come and to speak the local language today. So we're going to ask about what is maternal and infant nutrition. If we hear that word, a layman will say, what are we talking about?
Okay. Maternal and infant nutrition is, let me start with maternal. Maternal nutrition is the nutritional status of the woman, the nutrition of the woman before she conceives, and then during conception and up to the point of breastfeeding. But for the infant, for the child, infant nutrition starts from when the child is conceived. So from the point of conception, and with the studies have said for the first 1,000 days of the child. So from the point of conception up to the point that the child is 2, that is infant nutrition. So it's not just when the woman is pregnant, it is pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, and from birth up to the point when the child is 2 years old.
Yes, it is a maternal nutrition. My patron there, Bessia, needs by Zimonsem, Nana Pomuzane, before Beninsen, and son Obeninsen, time Oninsen Nina, so that's during pregnancy, and even afterwards, or Manebani and Nufua. Needs by Nana Pomuzine on your friend maternal nutrition. Emphasis here before pregnancy. The answer no Beninsen no cry, time Oninsen Nina, and na. Oninsen so you na I don't know or swear breastfeeding time no throughout Nina you refer to maternal nutrition. You can infant nutrition honestly from the point out obe conceive afra but only your ninsen brain no what can be there 1,000 days 1,000 days no refer to time obe conceive afra no up to 2 years It's easy buying the miss my bema frabanese buying nina throughout that period no on your friend infant nutrition. It's ye babeka importance so
Okay, thank you, Dr. Araba. So why is it important? Because I'm eating. I can say, oh, I'm eating. So when I'm pregnant, what are we talking about? I eat. Somebody can even say I eat 4 times in a day. So what are we talking about? Yeah.
It's not just about eating. The quality of the food that we're eating is extremely important as women. Studies have told us that women, especially childbearing women, they do not have enough micronutrients. The particular ones that the iron and the folate. Those are 2 very important micronutrients that we as childbearing women, we have the tendency of not having enough of, not having the storage of. When a child is conceived, the child would usually start to grow the moment there is fertilization, growth starts. And the child would use what the woman has in store to grow. That is what the child will use. So if the mother is deficient in anything, the infant, the fetus will be deficient in that nutrient. Now, the very, very particular ones nutrients that is very, very how will I say it now, that would significantly affect the development of the child is the deficiency in folic acid. When the mother is deficient in folate at the point of conception, there is the risk that the fetus will develop what we call a neural tube defect, which could eventually lead to the death of the child. That is essential. And then iron, the child will, as a matter of fact, studies have shown that a mother that is significantly deficient in iron has a high risk of losing the pregnancy. So, which is why the nutritional status of the mother before conception is essential, let alone during conception. Like I said, during conception, the fetus 100% relies on the storage of the mother. It is what the mother has available that the child will feed on. The child will feed on whatever is available, whether the mother likes it or not. So it is essential that the mother is in a very optimal nutritional status so that she will make available everything the fetus or fetuses, depending on how many you have in your belly, or fetuses will have enough supply, and then it will help them to grow, or help the baby to grow at the rate at which the baby is supposed to grow. When the brain should develop, when the eyes should develop, when the nose, the mouth, all the senses, all the limbs. We don't want a situation where a nutritional deficiency will cause something called intrauterine growth restriction. When the woman is not nutritionally optimal, when she doesn't have an optimal nutritional status, it puts the child at the risk of what we call intrauterine growth restriction.
Yeah, I think I'll try and translate this. Inti my kanye research nutrition actually there usually in Besiafo you lack micronutrients. Nutrients will be a nutrients.
Minerals and vitamins are the micronutrients.
Micronutrients. I was trying to see if I could translate that, but that's
minerals and the vitamins.
Yeah, but especially iron and folate. Lack you need them micronutrients, but these 2 especially, or you're very enough, because at the point a baby in the bear formed and fetus in the form mane was store no obey nutrients ohia that was performing ne cells na ne organs na ne development ni na nti here there besie bia before benyin sen no e be store enough e be what enough stores because anya dama na say lack nutrients be today folic acid folate of course bibi our friend neural tube defects to translate to one fan team but oye otum cause death obotum ama wo ba na ewu nti wo say folate levels ye lower obotum ama wo ba na ewu and now of course bibi our friend neural tube defect also lead to if it's not even death, it can cause other consequences, isn't it? When you have
usually death, it is the is the malformation of the brain.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, on the long run, the child might be born. The child will have some significant disabilities, but then the child usually at the end of the
most
day,
of the times, no, but when wumpa of course, affect any brain development. It's not dream. Sabi bona mo baby one was one dream shada nye papa dam nyamani na tumu dam deficiencies na otumu cause dam problems see. And another thing is so there. Some mamines banzi so nye ye otum cause bibi our friend intrauterine growth restriction into a friend or that here you can say ye womb no would the other here was zimun or we need because mamine with banzi koye inya enough stores obama afraban way ye inti honestly otum course nyama bi today low birth weight otum course nyama bebre inti emphasis here in there ma meno nezi banzi before benyinsen ehu hia pa infant mortality afra na orugu ma me nankasa ni wu no eya ni na anye there eya enya malaria na bibi dam no wezi banzi before benyinsen during time benyinsen ni na hu hia yentuma anye ni ya mortality mo fa na wo no orun kofom say yan hwe dam nyame ne yenzizi ye indicate ye hu de wo de yenzizi ye micronutrient levels ye yinsen wo ma he dam indun de ye mfa or de ye fa de ye make sure de ya build enough stores afraba no obenye bi na ma me no so benya apomzen nya dam mo frama no wo ba yarea nya dam mo frama no so yan hwe ya ye wo hu a wo bowu. Yeah,
so I'm sure most Dr. Araba Kenya on kind that causes sanadu. For people when you sana what's Nema doctor can away. Dr. TK, what I'm trying to say is, in Africa, when you are pregnant, that is when they will I don't know how to say that as in what do you call it in English. They will blend certain things and they will use their anus to use this thing to pipe into yourself. I don't know how to really explain that. I don't know whether if you have it in you have that.
Nigeria.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure you have it. I'll explain it.
What is it? It's a herba. It's herba, and then in this herba, they have their own herba medication, which they will put in. It's what do you call it? Something like a tube, and it have an edge. You use it through your backside.
Sorry, I've never heard of
that. So people do that as well during pregnancy. So it's not just when the hospital is giving them the medication. Some of them also do their own private thing at home. To work and my work can them work at I say my doctor can was the bread. Drew now what's the mount. The man do now what they fa. And neither near ma or outside what you call the hospital near man. The man cost near my last minute. It's ever too late. Okay, so as we're talking about food, I know it's funny here. Okay, so I am pregnant. Now you are saying I should eat. So I'm eating for two.
Sister Agnes, before we even get to the food, because we started talking about the intrauterine growth restriction, I wondered if we could just talk about the impact. Tiki, can you talk about that? It's linked with, I could just talk about that briefly. Let me say that in English first. So when we talk about intrauterine growth restriction, there's a lot of research that has also shown that when that happens, a child that doesn't grow well, or it could lead to or makes the child susceptible to certain chronic diseases, heart disease later on in life. There's actually something known as a Baker's hypothesis. Into research be aware it will wɔfrɛ could be the Dutch famine. The Dutch famine I today Ghana time now Ghana yenya come 83 no. Into the Dutch famine showed that research showed that all the children, most children who were born around that time where there was famine, when they grew up, they had a lot of chronic diseases. They had heart diseases, So that has been established in research that when children do not have optimal nutrition, when the fetus doesn't have optimal nutrition, when and it's not just the fetus. So even after birth, when there are so many environmental stresses, the child then grows up into an adult who is susceptible to chronic heart diseases, cardiovascular disease, diabetes. So let me just say it in fancy. My can you there say young shana young mom of a pregnant in sena young shani in disease ama mo framba no ye research actually there dam mo framba na wo in that condition wunyinya wotuminya diabetes wotuminya heart disease akumayaraba inti akumayaraba na diabetes na nyamanyama nyeni na de enyine enziziye se maame anhwe wiziban zimu ye na se ezizi basabasa ewa afrana breastfeeding anyeni ye a it will cause a problem for afraban afrani nyina obotumenya diabetes obotumenya heart diseases obotumenya dam yaraba cancers. Research has shown that, so I just needed to say that before we moved on.
And to add on to that, there's something called the reprogramming of the phenotypic characteristics of the fetus. So when there is intrauterine growth restriction, it causes the features that have already been formed to be reprogrammed. So this reprogramming will now cause is what we now see that would be expressed when the child is born. That's when we see a stunted growth. We see a child that is excessively short, or a child that is excessively thin, or a child that is constantly sick. Those are things that we see. The thing that had already been formed at the point of conception are probably healthy. If the child is not consistently exposed or allowed to have optimal nutrition, and this intrauterine growth restriction happens, then the chance of that child is significantly limited.
Yeah. So
it's either the child dies as a young person, or if the child grows up, like Dr. Araba has said, the child is significantly susceptible to all these non-communicable diseases.
Yeah. Inti mame kind na no zi bi reka ho there. What happens in there? The way anka Nyankopon ahyehyɛ there afra no obeform no problem ye nyi ho no. Enzizi ye a or fe bi reprogramming into osesa wo yaka bi phenotype me hu me samaka no mfante, but mesma na anka oda anka eba no otum sesa mesma beba no. To ono no ma it banzia when nutrients say you are lacking so many nutrients afrani nyezi ban papa ono tumoma ewo afrana anhwe ya nanya afraba oye too short afraba otaya ya anhwe ya na afraba no wewu nti hu a was surviving hu a wenwu in their childhood ono wotum so wonya bibi kakra bi na nipa itumu hwe ho ya ode me bo me ho modern me exercise enso bo na ekonya diabetes bia na onye wo lifestyle na but a problem from time a woman meaning saying now one shiny nutrition so on na year try to explain it. It has consequences on diseases later on in life. So you the pregnancy time and before pregnancy we are preventing all these diseases
and to say young man corner no mommy corner and kada what's the man I want to mommy didn't have the knowledge, but you have the knowledge to educate others, because those they didn't have the knowledge about that. So don't go and fight your mother and say, oh, this is my diabetes. It's not even because of how my lifestyle, but it was because of the way you were pregnant, you didn't take. That's not what we meant. We are educated.
No.
So yourself now. Educate your children, educate the people around you. You share the video, people are dying. This is the only thing you can do, is to share and educate. Our mothers didn't have so many knowledge, but you know what? They were eating very healthy. They were eating the green things that you and I, we don't even want to hear about. So they were having, you see somebody having 10 children and they are all healthy. So those days, although they were not educated, they were not on fertilizers, they were not on all this artificial food, but they were eating healthy. So that's a point I want you to, don't go and fight your mother. Africans are very smart in pointing fingers. Some of us Africans are very smart in pointing out fingers at others.
Fingers, unfortunately.
Yeah, we do that. So I just want to just bring that into our attention.
Yeah. So I said that before you asked about diet or something like that.
Yes, that we're eating.
I was saying that as we're talking about food. Some people will tell you, oh, and I did this, and because I'm pregnant, that's why I'm eating. She doesn't even need the food, but you know, the mentality is there. Some people crave for food, but because of that, I'm eating for two. So let me eat. Because we are still on the eating, so let me eat. Do we have to eat for two people when we are pregnant?
No, we are not eating for two when we're pregnant. No. Before I get to that answer, let me first of all say that if your pregnancy is planned pregnancy, it is essential that we take some multivitamin tablets, especially the folate. It is essential you take that. Actually, it is advised that you take that 3 months. You start to take that at least 3 months before you get pregnant, so that your body has enough store of it, and then when you eventually conceive, the risk is reduced for your child.
Oh wow!
Now you're not eating for two. No, you're not eating for two. You are eating for you, so that you would have enough supply for your fetus or fetuses, as the case may be. So, in the United Kingdom, for example, it is said that you do not have extra food compared aside from what you would normally eat until your 3rd trimester. That is in the United Kingdom. The WHO says a bit otherwise. What the WHO says is that you start to have a bit of extra from your 2nd trimester. So let me give it let me quantify it. Let me give you a picture. It's like we're having an extra sandwich. So if in the United Kingdom, they say the recommendation is eat healthy, normal eating healthy, the normal eat well guide, the amount of vegetables, the fruits, the amount of meat, the oily fish, like that. Healthy eating until when you get to your 3rd trimester, you're allowed to have an extra sandwich to what you would normally eat. That is what the Public Health England says. But according to WHO is more international, is more global. So let's use WHO. WHO recommends that when you get to your 2nd trimester, you are allowed to have an extra sandwich. When you get to your 3rd trimester, you're allowed to have 2 extra sandwiches, in addition to your normal healthy intake. It is essential that your intake is normally healthy anyway. The addition is just an additional sandwich in your 2nd trimester, and your 3rd trimester, 2 sandwiches. When we're talking about sandwich, it is a slice of bread cut into 2 with a filling inside. That is an extra sandwich.
That was what I was going to ask, that when you are talking about sandwich, it's not the food that you have to eat.
It's not bread.
I know. We are talking just bread that you've divided. No. So it's just bread that you just divide and then
2 slices of bread with your filling in it, your eggs or whatever, and then sliced diagonally into 2. So you have 2 sandwiches. So that one is the extra in your 2nd trimester. But in your 3rd trimester, you're allowed to have 4 slices of bread with your filling in it to make the extra. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're not eating for 2.
You're not eating for 2. Okay.
No, the problem with eating for 2 is you put yourself at risk of having a very big child, a very big baby. And research has told us that if your baby is very big, you put that child at the risk of developing non-communicable diseases in adulthood. You don't want that. and you put yourself at risk of being diabetic, type 2 diabetes, after you've had your child. You don't want that. Dr. Araba.
Okay, so not in perm baby, you need saying an uncle for say, in saying or there is my new pay being. And some is it not sure they say in saying twins as the baby my new pay bass, if that's what it is. But my year training there, that is not what is recommended. And yet damna research nature. Ma ohnyanye there first of all, say plan a pregnancy, and one of the points I you're making in there, mbesi afo no mesma ye zizi munti yen try there you plan a pregnancy. So usually here communities if you need your waransa you need saying the worry we are let's try and plan it. It's your plan na busime basa ansana benyi sen or there shasina efa micronutrient supplements, so folic acid at least 3 months and son and needs. Oh, the needs and more thing there. You can't actually really tell when it can happen, but or there is an effort. Miss my by making sure that timer being saying and that you have enough stores of your micronutrients because Canada they say you need enough to affect the abofrab and the neural tube defect na your kind. So that's one thing she just talked about. Now urban is by Zia UK ha your recommendation in there. First trimester no ihu hia there be zizi more ihu hia there reason is be better ho say it healthier, and here the emphasis is say easy you follow it well guide to the mother if be 1/3 of your plate near carbs 1/3 if you're 5 a day, so 5 portions of fruits and vegetables. Say if you were eating like that already, healthy eating increase weight in the first trimester. It is in the UK, no, it is only in the second trimester. Correct me if I'm wrong.
In the UK, no, third trimester.
In the UK, your recommendation in the only in the third trimester, and you are allowed to have an extra one sandwich.
Pack of sandwich, yeah.
Doctor, I will just come in. You are pregnant. Okay, I'm listening to this program.
Yeah.
I don't know what is even trimester. Although I've given birth, somebody may not even know what it is. So what are we talking about? Please.
Mama explaining infante. And when they need saying or ye busum 9 year busum busum enkron 9 months busum enkron. It's watch him a basa. It's busum e basa. First busum e basa no. Ono your friend the first trimester. Into more todono, second 4, 5, 6. Oh no, yeah, second trimester. And now last one into 7, 8, 9. 9 on our friend the third trimester. Into what chebusum no depending on who here there it has because first trimester ni day or a very delicate. A honor na be a frano ne na dream na ne vital nyaman organs no or form. Oh, into no there it's them differentiation. UK hano guidelines near there. First bosom first trimester no, which is the first 3 months no, and a second trimester ihu hia there e be series fufu be increasing. So normal fufu today into in say into na afede and easy 1 ball of cake here in say into or 2 or 3 ihu hia say e increase na run a risk there wo ba ne be ye kese wo afrana bo wo no be ye kese afrana so ye kese a ne ho so doing there or now obutumi nyanyaraba bebre awo ma me nankasa so botumi nya diabetes wo ho enti na watch here there my increase in yezibanzi because you feel there afresh mu it is healthier or you okay. But having said that, you know, you can WHO so one recommendation but you can here for UK WHO for a global one to wash nipa wo wiase mu na wo wakade second trimester no Ibotu may increase, correct me, TK, if I'm wrong. Second trimester, and the bottom may increase or sound with say it may increase in kakrebi by series sandwich. Yeah, 2 sandwiches. Oh no, na yakade yaka on ye baby panels lies a baby keke. Into damno, I wish we could use our local foods. TK, if you're eating a ball of you know kenke or and you were increasing it in the second trimester.
No, I know Banku. Let's do Banku.
Banku. You know, if so, usually you were eating about this 1/5 of Banku.
Yeah, it's a small fist of Banku. with your pepper stew. Yes.
So if you were increasing that in the second trimester, how would you increase that to? Because I want people to know that it doesn't mean you should go and eat 2 bowls of banku.
No. It's like doing half of your normal.
Just adding like half of it
like
to
half
what
of
you originally. Yes.
Yeah, like half of the normal.
Yes.
I agree, yeah.
And what about the third trimester too? If you were increasing
well, you don't want to do 2 banku because that's going to be plenty. So you might say half banku and then half kenke or sit-up. That's not right. Sorry.
The shito is the pepper that you eat to it. The sauce that you use.
Okay, then so you eat shito with rice or shito with
you can eat it with anything, any carb.
You can eat it with anything. The sauce I'm thinking for banku is the pepper that is a bit watery, not as dry as pepper.
The pepper that we blend.
Pepper with fish.
Yeah.
You can do half of that with your fish. Yeah. And that's the second trimester. Now in your third trimester, you can have that, but then something similar, but that kind of portion.
Okay.
Because what matters? Okay, finish.
You go on.
What matters is your protein. That is the very essential one that you are asked to increase right from when you're pregnant. So it's not that you want to add, for example, I'll just say a piece of meat. Okay, a piece of meat. When you're eating a piece of meat, an additional piece of meat to your meal, it's not supposed to be on top. In your first trimester, it's not supposed to be on top of. It's supposed to be extra meat to reduce your carbs or to reduce something. Do you get? Because your calories are not supposed to increase in your first trimester, according to WHO. In your second trimester, it could now be an additional protein, an add-on to what you would normally eat without taking anything. Then in your third trimester, it could be an additional protein too, an additional 1 piece of meat. Now it is when you start breastfeeding that you say an additional 2 pieces of meat.
So the increase in it's not more of the carbohydrate, but it's more of the protein.
It is the protein that you're particularly interested in. What we're told, what the recommendation is you do not increase your carbohydrate at all, because there is no need for it. You do not increase your fat intake at all because there is no need for it. If you are eating the right kind of fat. Now, the type of fat would really matter because of the brain development. You want something called polyunsaturated fatty acids, especially the essential ones, which are the omega-6 and the omega-3. Those are very, very essential essential fats when your child is growing up in your belly. So the kind of fat that you're eating matters a great deal. If you want to eat fish, the recommendation is eat at least 1 portion of oily fish every week. That would suffice. You don't need to add more to it, but you should need to make sure you are eating that 1 portion of oily fish every week. That is essential. You can choose to do 2 portions every week, but studies have said going beyond 2 doesn't really add anything. But if you do not eat the 1, you put your child at risk.
So okay. You still have something to say?
No, you can.
Yeah. So what you're explaining is just about the Eat Well guide. It's what she's saying. Where Moroccan recommendation in shredder insanity online it's buying the break, especially in here before here carbohydrates in here food na banku yaman insanity increase the big increase in what carbs madam. So the increase in what kind of protein. And all my example there. Today fish, for instance. A recommendation even before pregnancy is that you should have at least 2 portions of fish, and one of it, or they eat the fish at least twice a week. Now, one of it should be oily fish, because these fish, oily fish are fat. There are different types of fats and oil. na ibi wo hwa no ho emphasis bi no. In fact now we find essential oils oil important for brain development or brain development. It's in or there try there at least within the week. What fish are basically the crowberry oily fish. Examples of oily fish: the salmon,
mackerel,
salmon, and I had you had a bit in the baby because research nature there is in the baby. You there like any more benefit into at least once a week it's busy oily fish in zikra or be affected especially na dreamy development and I want to emphasize I can't remember if I've left something out.
Senator, somebody is asking that is there any substitute for the fish in case you cannot afford to buy the fish? That is by Martin Luther King. Is asking that is there any substitute for fish? I can say sardine. I don't think sardine is so expensive.
Sardine will suffice actually.
Sardine is less than 50p, 37p, 40p of sardine.
Yeah.
So it's part of oily fish.
Yes.
You can also. So I know sardines, tuna, they are very, very, it's not expensive that we can. So that can be not like to go and buy the salmon. I know salmon is expensive.
Salmon is quite pricey, yes.
It is. So at least I think if doctors will agree with me, I know about some sardine that is one of the good oily fish that because I like sardine a lot.
Yeah.
So
when we're cooking, we might want to choose sunflower oil. Sunflower oil instead of just ordinary vegetable oil is also a very good substitute.
Oh, okay. So you advise that instead of going for vegetable oil,
just sunflower oil. Sunflower oil is better, yeah.
No, thank you. So Dr. Araba,
what can you translate it?
No, I real translation. I mean, who do be?
You be some question. Okay. I've lost my thoughts here. But what she just said was that sunflower oil, so you're good. Oil. I'm going to use sunflower oil. No, be some question about sardine. The fish. No boy as in Okroma, but it doesn't have to be there. Fresh fish and Kesina no goes in 8 pounds, 10 pounds. No, now Sister Agnes go train here there. Sardine be a 30p, 50p. You sometimes you can healthy eating. Give me more drink. And your man no boy as in your money be no phone pa. Sardine 30p, 40p, 50p. To go to a use on as part of lazy balancing. Now I meet with nutrient requirements. Yeah.
This is another question. If I don't eat fish, what do I do? Can I have a supplement for it, or how can I also be able to have this omega-3 whilst I am allergic to fish? What do I do if I am allergic to fish? So I cannot take any of the fish. What is the substitute for it?
There are people like that. I think there are.
I personally know somebody who is strong allergy to fish. So in this situation, what is the person going to eat during pregnancy to also have the omega-3? Is there any other thing that we can get omega-3 from it?
Yes, like I said, the sunflower oil.
Okay. And once we have supplements that would have it.
Now, from a nutritionist point of view, except you're not eating healthy, what we encourage is eat healthy so that you do not need supplements. Now, for people like vegans, because I know that will happen.
Yeah, the vegans. That's what I was going to talk about. Yeah, that's because I knew that question would come up. What about people who don't eat fish at all? Fish, yeah. There's not everyone who eats fish, yeah. But for normal, healthy people, I think TK
is free. Yeah.
Yes. It's true for a nutritionist. The advice is that because lots of people tend to take micronutrient supplements and all that. We advise that don't rely so much on those micronutrient supplements. Try as much as possible and get all your nutrients from the foods you eat. And unless you actually are very deficient, and then that should be based on, advice from an expert. But otherwise, we don't want people to just rely on just taking in supplements as a daily source of their nutrients. Yeah, I'm sure she will join again. Yeah. Anyway,
And
so
yes.
because I know that fish cry on internet supplements so initially basically other sources of food. No, sunflower oil, a good source of food. You also some seeds and nuts also good sources of some of these fats. So you can also rely on some of these. But so what micronutrients your supplements what you're very deficient you to recommend them home. But man, make kind don't make micronutrient supplements just your daily source of nutrients. You peden coffee we use to buying. Unless today folic acid that in saying what's a bomb on because on the but every day in for supplements as a daily source of nutrients. Baby what market are they be as nutritionists no yang advise them there every day or there for supplements. No, ye peden when you're all their nutrients from waste buying unless they're BBT, I test been a watch there. You are deficient in one or two nutrients. Na another vitamin D, says so on the advice is that obi amphibi only you're different. But for other nutrients, your advice there, people should try and get it from food first rather than relying on supplements now what on the market.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry, I don't know what happened to my internet. It just went off. What I was saying was, yes, there are people who actually are not able to, or not able to, they find it quite challenging to get all the nutrients that they need from food, especially people who are vegans. So such people are encouraged to take supplements so if you're doing veganism and you want to be eating healthy, the fact that you're eliminating all the animal foods that contain all the very essential nutrients and micronutrients, there are some micronutrients that you will not get in plants. So such people, they're encouraged to take supplements. But if you know that you're allergic to anything, you are encouraged to eat healthy, and that will provide all the supplements. That being said, yes, there are people who are allergic to seafood. Yes. So as a result, the omega-3 and omega-6 can be gotten from vegetable oils such as sunflower oil, like I mentioned initially, rapeseed oil that I mentioned initially, nuts, we're talking about peanuts, walnuts. Those would actually provide the omega-3 and omega-6 that we need if for any reason you are allergic to oily fish.
Okay.
I think I touched on some of these already. Okay, so what I didn't say was the fact that you said you had problem with apart from
my internet, yeah. No,
with what?
Allergy. What did you say?
Allergy to seafood.
To what allergies no who are rely on other sources. I already mentioned some nuts, peanuts, walnuts. These are also good sources of the omega-3 and omega-6. Them fats now for the development of the brain, here dream formation. It means that it's them nuts. It's imperfect now. Also oil, not mentioned sunflower oil. What other oil? Rapeseed oil. These are all sources of these omega-3 and omega-6. What else haven't we mentioned? And so it's not just the fish. It's into means the fish now, but to rely on these other sources of the good fats. Your friend essential fats are for the development of the brain and other vital organs. Okay.
So these are the ones that we would do, prepare ourselves before the pregnancy, during the pregnancy. So we've gone through the first semester of pregnancy, the second semester, we've gone through the third. So this is where a situation that now I have done all and I've given birth. Now the tummy is gone. Do I continue to be eating that, or what do I do now? Because the baby is out now. And as the baby is out, can I just go in back to my junk food and do everything?
Well, we're not supposed to be eating junk food, so I'm not. I won't. Even when you've had your baby, no, please don't go back to junk food. That being said, for those who are exclusively breastfeeding, you are encouraged to have the extra 2 sandwiches, the extra double. Now, 4 slices. That's using sandwiches. Dr. Araba, you help me to use Ghana food to do it.
Okay,
Because
so
when you use the sandwiches there, it will not help.
I always like to use this portion size.
An extra meal. Yeah, it's as good
An
as
extra
one
meal. So if
extra
we're
meal.
eating this size of banku, we also eat eba. You know, if this is your fist size, this is the usual one you eat for lunch. One fist of banku or kenke or eba.
With
and you're breastfeeding.
Yes,
what would you
with
eat?
Your
with
protein.
yours? Yeah, with your protein
with
and
your
your
protein.
soup,
Yeah. With your, so let's say instead of eating 3 times, you now eat, you're allowed to eat 4 times if you are exclusively breastfeeding. If you are not exclusively breastfeeding, no, you go back to your normal healthy eating without the extra. But if you are exclusively breastfeeding, you should have, instead of 3 meals, you can have 4 meals. But again, your protein is very important. You want to double the, like I said, just one extra piece of protein in pregnancy, 1 extra piece of meat. But when you have had your baby, you want 2 extra pieces of meat or fish.
Let me say this before I forget it.
Before you forget,
you bisa this is Agnes, you bisa this I mean your adom na iswa go to me bibia because you had pregnancy is the day as the day. And I Dr. TK rekade junk food neze yen kaden krofunzi ya kan wahada da dem obi anyim the junk food no onboa hen ibeza just once in a while man yen every day is banya busy. However, say ewo na say exclusive breastfeeding nye there ebema enufu nkotin for your first 6 months no into serema enufu nkotin a research there who here the botumuzi is buying says is it 3 times a day botumuzi is buying crow akame eating home because our exclusive breastfeeding ihu the a common tazo and when to say exclusive breastfeeding na botumuzi is buying crow aka ho na hono yeah you can say meat tazi baka ho na fish no protein botuma have extra 2, right? That is when you are breastfeeding. So you are allowed an extra 1 portion of meat, but now you are breastfeeding alone. In formula nkanwobane buying a hono bottoms 2 extra portions of meat akawezi buying for the day. Bottom is 4 times a day because it burn a lot of calories. Say exclusive breastfeeding or comazo. Say into me exclusive breastfeeding because you'll be annoyed. Na say the formula baka ho increase weight buying because you're not really doing it like someone who's doing exclusive breastfeeding. It's honestly go back to your healthy eating. Yeah.
Okay. Like a protein, what's the protein? Protein. My family and chinam papa be me the boyfriend then. And then I can them fufu my J. What's the protein? Tin then chinami my modern What I'm trying to say is I have given birth now. So my protein, we say protein. So I will just red meat. I will just, if you go and see a pregnant somebody who has given birth food in Ghana, you just run away. They would just, when you see our earthenware dish, the way they would dish the fufu and the way they will cover it with meat, it's amazing.
No, you like I said, when you
because I want this to be practical here. That if somebody's listening, we should
when you're exclusively breastfeeding, you need to because your child is completely reliant on you still. You need to have sufficient to give to your child. And whether you like it or not, your child will take from you as long as the child is exclusively breastfeeding. So you need to be making sure that you're replenishing whatever it is that the child is taking from you. Now, there are people who have babies and do not breastfeed at all for whatever reason. That happens. They don't need any extra at all. Just go back to your normal, healthy eating. That's all.
So I guess the point here is, what does it look like? You know, when we say the health proteins, because she's saying that in Ghana, people just eat so much, you know. So we want to visualize how does it look. Portion
Okay,
size, yeah.
we would say that your palm, where's my hand? Okay, this is your meat size, yeah, and this thickness,
yeah,
is your meat size,
yeah.
Okay, so you're allowed to take 2 of this
when you're
your meal.
exclusively breastfeeding.
When you're exclusively breastfeeding.
Let me explain that, TK, before we go on.
No, before you explain now. If you are not exclusively breastfeeding, but you are significantly breastfeeding, you can have 1.5 of it. Okay? But if you are not breastfeeding at all, just eat your 1.
So yeah, I also like this topic very well. So people want to understand what we mean by the portion size, you know. So we are saying, if you are not breastfeeding, go back to your normal healthy eating, you know, portion sizes. What does that look like? I've forgotten. I need to say it in fancy. Inti, yeah, pediatre Miss my yinzizi. Say yeah, we are. It had a card able to increase the protein intake. Na sister Agnes bisa there. By how much? Because we go for who be with the chicken bear 4 5. This is day na yetre. Protein say with the meter. Usually portion size. You can 1 portion size or yeah, one same day. This Agnes one same day, you know.
On a chance, maybe I must repeat.
One same day, you know. On a portion and a thickness need today. It's serifa meter. You see what we can use in visualizing this would be steak meter based. It's for the day. In today, it doesn't mean the meat in the size your day for 1 meal. It's meat na channel. You know, obiana nezi small channel. It's say each channel today those size today they are. Be a day no be 4. Damn name imagine she won't sim obiane palm approximately. You know, damn no there easy. For a day. In terms of grams, that's about 70 grams. Your maximum
that's about 70 grams.
You're supposed to have more than 70 grams. It's your obia on breastfeed, normal person. We'll meet all day easy a day or today. But we exclusive breastfeeding. Serima ubani inufun kutin for the first 6 months now. You are allowed in church and the bottom is 2 of that. It's one namna bezino. Bottom is beye 2 of this amount for the day. Seriye ononkotinya emfa formula nka ubanizi vine ho. Seriye breastfeeding remane nufu na the formula kakre bi na reka ho a botuma day na ze ka ho. But serema formula nkotinza you are like na, you know, just healthy eating. Yeah, advice today, we meeting or the day pet. Man, kasa a number 4 5 pieces of chicken thighs. Omboa. Inti she my training thickness today and at the size, you know, as to today. So if you are a normal person, not breastfeeding, today, me now we na am breastfeeding. Damn no day protein. It should not be more than 90 grams for men, no more than 70 grams for women. So where, and that is the size. Or the yanka so be picture. This is a guideline for us. To picture. Na yemfam one is by na using.
Okay, somebody is asking a question which we have already treated. I think maybe the person just joined. When we're talking about trimester in pregnancy, it's 3 stages. First month, second, third is the first one, or stage 1. And the second is the 4, 5, and 6. Then we go to 7, 8, and 9. So it's 3 different stages. And as a woman, even if you're a woman, your body will tell you it's changing. You could see the changes. So the first one is 1, 2, 3 months. The first is the first stage. That's the first trimester. The second is 4, 5, and 6. That makes the second trimester or the second stage of pregnancy. Then the 7, 8, and the 9 become the third stage or the third trimester. We've done it, but I knew if he was here or if the person was here, the person wouldn't ask the question. So this is what we meant by the stages in pregnancy.
But then let's also remember that they measure in weeks also. So up to week 12 is your first trimester. And I think the second trimester ends at 25, 24, 25, 26, thereabouts. And then from then till 40 weeks is your third trimester.
So I think the person, the question has been
answered. Yeah. I also just remembered something that we didn't talk about when we're talking about the pregnancy. So it's one of the myths, and TK, you and I mentioned it briefly yesterday. So in you said that in Nigeria, sometimes when people are pregnant, they are asked to increase their vitamin A intake. So liver, one of the nutrients are, and I'm just saying it in fancy, you can say it in English afterwards. A nutrient be is buying be a yin saying or the yes so in it's buying be or contain high amount of vitamin A. On the micronutrients na your kind, it be or they increase, it be or they reduce. Vitamin A, liver, abwane liver or containing high amounts of vitamin A. Now research trade say years in the bebre, yin saying years in the bebre or one soon to do afranodo. Also our genetic effect to afran. On any day, Obama afrani inya be congenital disorders. Obama afrani inya conditions bia bohuna onye kama butuma wa frabanana ebianena incheda nyi ho papa ebiana dream incheda nyi ho papa ni na to me as a result of excess vitamin A intake. Inti say yin senya yen susu de yezi liver is buying your content, especially abwane liver no. Yensu today ye basic them in the buying because on what all micronutrients no they fan be brave. If you are you won't hear that you be increase. If you so or they get told it will bani we are go to my call back to liver na easy be brave. That's fine, but not during your pregnancy.
Thank you.
Now, in pregnancy and after pregnancy, especially in the United Kingdom, you'll be asked to take extra folate, extra vitamin D, and vitamin A. Now, the only extra of vitamin A in the United Kingdom, in a developed country, the only extra that's recommended is just 100 microgram.
Okay.
Just about 100 microgram, and you will get that from the supplement.
Okay.
Now, we've seen, because I was reading this up a study yesterday, and in countries where there is a significant amount of vitamin A deficiency, where there is a lot of blindness, night blindness, and things like that, they might be encouraged to take the liver because it helps.
Okay.
But in a developed country like this, like in the United Kingdom, where we don't particularly have significant deficiency of vitamin A, the extra that is required, which is just 100 microgram, can be gotten from the supplement. Now, a portion of liver can give up to 4,000 or thereabouts, if I'm not mistaken, micro, which is plenty. So if you are not significantly deficient in vitamin A, if you take a lot of that in liver, the good thing about the liver is it's not just vitamin A, it's also good. It's also a good source of other essential nutrients. It's a very good. It's like the egg. It's like when we're talking about an egg, it is that complete, But because of we don't want vitamin A toxicity, which Dr. Araba has said, in a developed country like this, where there are lots of other foods that we eat every day anyway that contain this vitamin A, we do not need more than that 100 micrograms. Hence, the reason we're told not to eat liver.
Okay, let me just add that explanation to it.
Okay, Zena also says why not can also help. Thank you for your contribution. Soya beans and also thanks for your contribution.
Walnuts,
Sure. Liver semna na Dr. Tokumbo Zibirika ho there. Research natural there in countries in minor vitamin A deficiency. There are certain places that on a country be or today UK hano vitamin A deficiency on your problem. But equal among especially third world countries now it be will lack vitamin A no. In countries like that they are not on shadow your problem because will lack we need optimum amount now on couple one saying. And when to honor say, it's okay to take the liver for those countries. Is that what you're saying? The people where they have deficiencies. But in here now, on your problem in countries where vitamin A deficiency is not a problem. No, all the yes because liver contains can contain bebre. What's here just a little you mean saying, but liver no contain bebre. Into say is liver na bottom in your excess or bottom wa harm wa frana ebo one no. Yeah,
I think Dr. Tiki, I was talking about this herbal thing, and somebody said it's enema. And I was just saying that enema is an administration, it's a technique used to stimulate the stool evacuation. So it's from the anus, and you use through your back pain. So somebody is just saying, because I was struggling, I said I don't even know the name, and somebody said, Mama Hannah, thank you, enema. So I don't know if you heard about that before, but any Ghanaian knows ye kasa ye sa obu ha wanyemwa no wakofa bentoa no abomodin adure no wode asa eno na ye kasa ye nhwe enu so ye na nsusuanso bebre ewo akire.
Is the aim to get people to use the toilet? Is that the aim?
Some people, when they are constipation, they do it, and some people not because they are constipation, but because of pregnancy, when they are in the what do you call it, the village or something, even in the city, some people do because they are used to that. They use that as well. And this thing will go in even, so let's say if you have 3 liters in that, when you administrate it through your anus, it's going into your tummy.
No.
No, it goes into your tummy before you go and then use the toilet. So it's something that any Ghanaian will know. You can't ask someone when you're more. Yes,
let me correct this. The way God has created our digestive system. Now, every stage has a door. Every stage of the digestive of the alimentary canal has a door, which we call sphincter. It closes. It will open when it needs to open, and it closes when it needs to close. Ideally, things should not move backward. If things move backward, that means the door is open when it shouldn't open, and there's a problem. Okay, so if there is no problem, ideally, things should not move from your large intestine. It won't even get to the stomach straight, because before you get to the stomach, there is the small intestine, and then there's the large intestine, and then there's the colon. Now, whatever is this that is being inserted will get to the colon, and maybe long shot large intestine. Now, I don't know what the content is. If it has some micronutrients in it, there are absorption of micronutrients in the large intestine, and the absorption goes into the bloodstream. It doesn't come back into the stomach. It doesn't happen that way. So, like I said, I don't know. I'm not sure I know the content, but if it is to aid digestion, because not digestion, it's to help people that are constipated. If I know that in Africa, I don't in Nigeria, I don't know about Ghana, but the moment you are pregnant, iron is one of the ferrous tablets, is one of the tablets that you are given. Now, one of the side effects of ferrous tablets for some people is constipation. Some people become excessively constipated as a result of the ferrous. So if you are constipated and you're stimulating your anus to help yourself to go to the toilet, that would make sense. That I can understand that. But if you're injecting something with the mind that it comes into your stomach, no, that there's no science that supports that. No.
All right, thank you. Okay, so doctor, before we go, what advice do you want to advise people who are preparing for pregnancy and people who are still pregnant? We are not here to scare, but it's never too late. If you are still pregnant, you can still add more and do more to it as well.
Healthy eating in pregnancy and during pregnancy is essential, not just for the mother, more importantly for the fetus or fetuses. You want to make sure you have optimal health, especially with regards to nutrition, before you conceive, and then during conception. and then during breastfeeding. The first 1,000 days of a child are the most important days of that child, and they start from the day your egg is fertilized to when the child is 2 years old. So what you feed your child during pregnancy up to when the child is 2 years old, you have to be deliberate about, and you have to be very careful. Thank you.
Inti maye yezi tradoyin there, Dr. T yezi tradoyin there. Yezi ansa na yebe nyinsɛn. Time a yɛnyinsɛn ni na yɛbɛwo no so nyame yɛbɛyɛ ha dom a yɛbɛsɔ abofraba no ho hia paa. Yɛka 1,000 days or from time a afra no wɔ form just the conceiving time no up to 2 years. You know, all that time no is buying at my or the ishada. Say you'll be a during this period or the deliberate the ishada there may wage maybe seeming wonder of an investment or they invest in one casa woman and nutrition. And now nutrition because the kind of catch on there new ones so I don't know doors to be free. I'll go to me and share for me but friend go to me. Our mammy nankasa crass go to me, Yamin Pengu, and she yes to na safrani when wa or to me or ninya yarba bebre and ya can no diabetes na akuma yarba na nina and ibi ye or free day, mammy wins ye and son or saying and our time or saying. Inti your last message in there, yen shed a minya me yen plan a pregnancy. Miss Mobaya, and son of ye being sending put na ya building your stores well, yes easy enough. Your nutritional status ne very good and son and you sending poaba. Miss Mobaya, your bow from where you're healthy. Most will be why you're healthy. One last thing a young can was your case by Hunkotin. We didn't talk about alcohol in Sanon in Sanon during pregnancy. So or hard dream be brave. So what they get told say you'll be a pensa. Honestly, no one's I don't know. On yasan kakraba nso ode yet told on yezi bantin kote and enyama be stress you know everything in the environment they be ayeka or they itumoda enough is easy exercise so hia move your body avoid the nyama onboa ni na yeka boma oma itumo wa fraba or you healthy you reduce the infant mortality na maternal mortality na yeka hunsem na.
So if I stop drinking, I'm still a smoker. Can I continue smoking?
Okay, now some people actually deliberately smoke during pregnancy because they want to reduce the size of their baby. But studies have told us that it is very, very detrimental to your child. You expose your child to a lot of danger. It could cause underweight. Your child could be underweight as a result. It could cause the intrauterine growth restriction and things like that. So do not smoke while you're pregnant. We shouldn't even be smoking at all. And then you shouldn't smoke more importantly while you're pregnant.
None worry your friend Yakashin, Kayo Jibu no town for Sanona Bay, no field your market be na me a mean time for. Mika o here home, Sano Jenny, or be any old men no here horse, and only ye afed ni sa. O hell Jenny Bikeke, Sano field your market, mutual macho near me time here, or by any near coin on the sa. I been a can you drop on a number swans, I don't quite no Ojipa. Nika o ye near or ye need. By him, and I cannot fear no you're no booking who buy Jaco. Well, no buy any here. Okay, her booking. Was I know what way no Japan people menace and work bad than no. The great Shelemo, first and work, but no Jenny, or you are not quite a balanced diet. In what ye, Jeno, Yaka, or Yen, your cat. She can't be a blood dress and then I will blood or BPO, walk up by your come here. Can now who few no cock his Japan. Now I banana. Call for who Sano quack, call or Habakan for 400 chair, Sanu no who or quack. New only ye leave me because I can only go here, no one can hear your day. The way near here who I can call here or buy any PPP because I can show your moji or Habakan who need fear no by ye. Bokan who banna aye. Me no worry and no what feigning belly near I form of me. No bar for Bokani, he like a dick one quenning no self afo, and walk over fit him. Lebine, only doctor fu en your rioji, kwamo ono, no juba. Dano ba here or call here or call for tapodi and chair, Sano qua ohin no juba. New on your ohishi, ye hello her, he me. Look at he la pi. When then will real fair, what one daniel of yamoshi. Call by no share video how Miss Been ages, you know. If you don't see people that speak Ghana, it's a while. So now I've called it out. So that's another language that in Accra, that is the language, and I was born and bred there, so at least I can speak it. So we're able to at least explain it into details. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. TK and Dr. Araba. I know you are so busy. Dr. Araba, I know you are going to do another program today. I wish you all the best, and thank you so much for your time and everything. Thank you, viewers, as well. I can't mention all the names. I've seen a lot of loved ones on, and okay, so I've seen a lot of loved ones on, and I cannot mention all the names because I don't want to leave somebody. So please, I appreciate all your time and everything. Until we meet again, we say bye-bye for today. Bye-bye.